and that's something that not a lot of people know about, but all in all, there's about 400 of us working not just out of Santa Monica, the corporate office, but really all over the world, and working on large projects, small projects, product launches, promotions, as well as keeping the lights on, right? And a lot of the things that you're talking about, Michael, how do we make sure that you all and your coaches out there get the kind of technology support that you need?
Yeah, how many people are on the technology team, including contractors?
400.
400 people on the technology
398
team.
actually.
300,
3%.
You still have 2 to go to get to 400.
Right.
No,
but it's a big team. A lot of contractors doing special projects for us.
Yep.
But a big team that Eduardo took over, and obviously we're completely dedicated financially and otherwise to making things stable for Beachbody, but also growing and moving forward.
Yeah.
There's a couple things we want to talk about.
It's interesting. Yeah. I've been with Beachbody for 9 years, and John, you've been there longer than that. But I know when I started, I think our technology team was probably 10, 20 people,
yeah.
or something like that, and so I think a lot of people sometimes think that even today, with all of our problems, that we just basically have 6 people that are running from problem to problem to project, and the reality is that the organization is sort of divided, where we have multiple projects going.
Absolutely, and more we are focused on having people working on a product or a series of products, right? I don't know, a technology project or not, and make sure that we can deliver against that, because that's the way that we're going to rebuild the trust and confidence of folks out there.
Yeah.
So
and also teams of specialists. So we actually did have too many people jumping from project to project before, and Eduardo's helped us reorganize and focus people on specific things so that they're working on their area of expertise. They work until they're done, then they can move on to a new project. Because it's very easy to get caught up fighting fires and being reactionary rather than being strategic and being proactive and planning for the future.
Yeah. So John, you're the president, chief marketing officer, and actually we know that technology really is the underpinnings. Without the technology, our marketing efforts are quite difficult.
Yeah.
And so in that role, the technology reports up into you. What is your vision? Where do you see, what are kind of the major projects through 2016 that we're going to be working on that are going to have an impact on our coaches?
So we have a couple really big ones. Like I said, other than, we divide our goals into a few different buckets. One of them is just keeping the lights on, as we say, the stuff you've got to do to make sure that checks are going out, people can land on the site, they can shop, that all the regular routines, that when an order gets placed, it gets sent through and goes into a fulfillment center, that order is logged appropriately, and all the things that happen to that person are the right things. They sign up for free payments of something, that the payments happen on time, that they sign up for club, that they get their free 30 days and they get billed 30 days later. All that is IT related. That's keeping the lights on. Then moving forward, we're trying to improve the way we run the business. So the biggest thing coming up, which is something that's inside the company, and this is a word that we don't really use outside the company, we call it Wave 1. And that is the consolidation of our shopping platform and the way that we run the coach business. And it's a new shopping platform, product management platform, fulfillment management platform, and customer service management platform or system that is being integrated actually already in small phases to manage the entire Team Beachbody business. So that's happening right now and is going on through the end of next year. And we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and that's not a simple kind of, we have teambeachbody.com now, and we unplug that one and plug this one in. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as that.
I typed in teambeachbody.com one day and I went to this site, and now I go to this site, and now that's all you had to do is build the front page.
And it's precisely because of what John is saying. It touches every single one of our departments out there. And we have to make sure that when we're ready to pull the plug, like you were talking about, Michael, that we do it without creating any harm for you, for our company. We have to make sure that the checks still get to the right people, the product get to the right people, and us internally we can operate in the most efficient way.
And this Wave 1 project, which really is sort of really much of the tech platform that supports Team Beachbody, at least the first wave.
Yep.
I mean, that's a significant investment by the company. So can we talk about sort of some of the investment that we're making there?
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
All right.
Go
So
ahead. I usually say the number, but go ahead.
so we roughly have 200 people working on this program. It's a multi-year program. We have spent north of $60 million on this platform consolidation that John is talking about. And by itself is the largest project that we have ever done as a company. I'm not just talking about tech, by the way. The largest project ever across the entire company.
And just like in terms of some highlights of kind of there's a lot of back end stuff that coaches and your customers won't see, but some of the front end stuff that you will see will be a mobile friendly teambeachbody.com. So for you and your customers, you'll be able to shop online. Some key features around the ability to share, the ability to have recommended products through, if somebody buys one thing, if they buy a challenge pack, we can recommend that they also buy 3-day refresh or various things as they go through that.
If they buy Shakeology, we'll be able to recommend that they get a boost so they can buy it at the same time.
Right. Well, and one of the things that I think people will be very excited about, and I can tell you that I'm very excited about, is that when we launch a new product or we have a monthly promotion, it's not going to take us several days to roll that out. In our current environment, basically, for those of you that don't know, our current environment, it's a very manual process with multi-departments involved, and every SKU that goes up has to be put up live, tested, and go on to the next SKU, and that's why it takes so long. In the new environment, we'll be able to have a staging environment where we preload all the content, go through all of the end-to-end testing, put a schedule date, and we can say that at 12:01 Pacific time, all of the SKUs are going to launch. So that will, and it will just go and come down, and then I can spend much less time on the wall.
And it really is a difficult situation right now when it doesn't go up at the same time and it goes up in stages. There's always the impression that some idiot forgot to say on at the right time, and that's actually not what's going on. It really is it's heavy lifting.
So let me ask you, why can't we have this tomorrow?
We wish, right? It is mainly a couple of reasons. The first one we were alluding to is a very complex program that we're undertaking, and there are many moving parts that we want to make sure that continue to work on the day after we go live. If you think about it, millions of dollars go through our existing systems today, and we want to make sure that that doesn't get affected, because if that gets affected, then the compensation of everybody here and your downlines gets affected. So we don't want to mess with that.
We have a platform right now which is that we're running over $20 million of commerce a week through the platform now that we're going to replace. So do no harm is obviously the first thing that we want to do. We want to make it better, but it is working to bring through $20 million of revenue a week or volume, and that's just the coach system. That's not Beachbody as a whole. Just the coach system. $20 million.
And just from personal experience, having been in this industry for I hate to say almost 20 years now. There have been a number of companies in the direct selling environment where without a careful transition to new platforms, it can be devastating, it can be catastrophic to the business. If in fact our systems were to go down for a period of time during this transition, that can take a company with momentum to the momentum going the other way. And so we're being very methodical about the transitions, about how we do it, and that is why it's taking place. So we do anticipate that this new commerce will come up over the course of 2016, and we're going to slowly roll it out. We'll later, probably next year, we'll talk more in depth about how we will roll it out and what that experience will be, but the full site we don't anticipate until towards the end of 2016.
Right. No. But there are things happening. Already there have been releases that you don't know about, and that's a really good thing that you don't know about them. In other words, they happened and the sky did not fall and processes went on as they're supposed to. One of them is address verification. The other is just a lot of the way that we're accumulating data right now. And those are things that are working in the background now that give us confidence that future stages are going to work. But it's actually already in progress.
Absolutely. And to what you were saying, Michael, I wouldn't say slowly. We're doing it methodically. I think you used the right word there, because we're going as fast as we can. We don't want to go too fast, again, to put you and the business at risk. But we don't want to delay this. We know that we are way overdue bringing these technological advances to Beachbody. So tomorrow is not fast enough for us. That's why we have so many people and we're investing so many dollars to make it happen.
And so another big project working on for
Coach
2016, Coach Online Office. So, so the Coach Online Office is a project that we've been working on. We've been doing wireframes, but what's that?
How long? I was asking you the other day.
Yeah, the other day, Eduardo said, how long have you been trying to get a new Coach Online Office? And I said, I think it's about 6 years now. The way I phrased it was, I said, well, you're the third CIO that I've been trying to get through. So
he's finally getting somebody to listen, I guess.
Yeah. But we are working on a new office, and one of probably the most complex piece of the office actually has to do with the data.
Absolutely, because data, what you get to see, what your coaches get to see in the office is a compilation of a lot of data sources and a lot of things that have to come together to make sure that you can manage your business. And because of that, we have to be very careful as to, as we unplug the old office and we put the new one in, that will be mobile friendly, that will be much more user friendly. You're going to be able to do business for wherever you are, right? We want to make sure that, again, you can trust the data and they can be there, it can be accurate, but it can be there on time and as fast as we can make it.
Yeah, so right now there's a huge effort in terms of data architecture to restructure that, re-engineer that to make it more efficient, more accurate, more reliable. The other thing, just a couple highlights, as Eduardo said, Coach Office will be mobile. So you'll be able to do it anywhere you want. We're adding a better information architecture so that you'll be able to find things. We're going to add search into the office so that you'll be able to, again, find things. We will be cataloging this little dance session that Eduardo did. So in the future,
great.
Eduardo dance. It'll come right up in the office. But
Your
again,
CIO.
Yeah. But so that's a big initiative. What's the timing on that?
So we are working on it right now. We're working towards having the first release by the end of the year, and then throughout 2016 we'll keep adding more functionality. We're working with Michael and his team to figure out what's the best way to get it out there. Are we going to have a beta group of people coming and helping us figure out what's working and what's not? The most important thing for us is to deliver value as quickly as we can, right? So if there is functionality that we're creating, even if it's not in most perfect form, but folks out there can take advantage of it, why not put it out there, right, and let people use it?
Yeah, so that's kind of what's coming up, but I think that probably what a lot of people would like to know is, what are you doing now in terms of just, in terms of keeping the system stable, in terms of making sure that we don't have outages, that we don't have business interruptions, that, that processes are in place so promotions do go up and stay up when they're supposed to stay up. What type of activity are we focused on now to ensure that until we get to that future state, that the current state is working?
I'm talking about infrastructure first.
I mean, we know that the performance and stability of our systems has not been what you all deserve, right, and what your coaches deserve. So from upgrading our data centers, our networks, every piece of hardware we have actually gone into and determined, is it something that needs replacement, upgrading, has it been poorly designed and built and we need to do it again? So there's been a massive effort around that. And it has started to translate. I mean, we had a rough patch back in the March, April timeframe with TVBs that we haven't seen lately, right? Bonus runs are working better. So things are starting to get a little bit more normal, not where they need to be yet. And certainly, like we were talking about, the proof is in the pudding, right? We have to live by our commitments and make sure that when we say things are going to be up, that they're up, and understand that folks are trying to make a living using our systems, and it's we welcome that responsibility. We just have to deliver them.
Yeah, just as a kind of a tangible example, you mentioned bonus runs, and this is kind of a back end thing, but on Wednesday, or actually early Thursday morning, there's a process to calculate the bonus. And it's like a 12-step process that we go through, and part of the process is it has to sort of re-look at or rebuild the genealogy according to the ranks, and then go through all the volume and the cycles and all of that. And 5 years ago, that process would take about 15 minutes. The size of the organization. As we started to grow and to an organization of almost 400,000 coaches, earlier in the year we were seeing that process was taking up to 8 to 9 hours in order to do all of the massive calculations to do that. Since some of these patches and work that Eduardo's team has done early in the year, that's back down, under an hour to like 30 to 40 minutes in order to process this. So those are the things that, while that 8 or 9 hours of processing, it was consuming much of the resources of the system and causing other issues around the system. And so those are the types of improvements on the back end that you guys don't necessarily see, but there are lots of those things that Eduardo's team has been very effective in terms of finding root causes and re-engineering and putting in new hardware in places to make all of those processes run more efficiently.
Absolutely. There's about a third of the team that looks at running, keeping the lights on, if you will, right? So enhancements and improvements like what you're talking about, infrastructure, applications, processes, does their job. That's their job. I mean, there's quite a bit to do, but there's good progress.
And there's a non-technical term called blocking and tackling, and that is what Eduardo is getting us better at, and it's actually company-wide. One of our commitments to you is that we're getting better at blocking and tackling. When Carl and I started Beachbody 17 years ago, we knew we were good at marketing, and that's what we are. He and I are marketers, and we're old school marketers, and we're new school marketers also. We've always been great at that. And I know you guys. We told you a couple of years ago we brought on a small investment group called L&K, and when they came in, they said the reason why we're totally into Beachbody is nobody can market like you guys. Nobody can come up with new products like you guys, and we know that you're great at that. Because the blocking and tackling should be the easy part. So let us help you get great at that. And that's what we've been working on since they came on 2 years ago. That's why we have Eduardo here now. That's why we have Todd in customer service, Mark in operations, Sue as our new CFO. The level of commitment, the level of people we've got at senior leadership at Beachbody has just gone up multiple levels in the last couple of years. And the real key behind that is you guys should not feel that. You should not think about that, because you're out there busting your butts, helping people around you to improve their lives and trying to make a living while doing it. And we admire you so much for what you do. You should not have to think about this stuff. My goal is to not have to have a technology update in 2 years here at this thing. It's just working. But in this current condition, we have to do that stuff and let you know what's going on. But that's our commitment to you, is that we're going to help support your businesses so you can continue to grow with us.
Awesome. Well, on that note, John, Eduardo, thank you.